This is Dr. P. Padmanabh Reddy, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Welcome to video lectures on signals and systems. Today's topic is classification of systems. First of all, what is a system? System is a combination of components. These components are interconnected to perform a desired task. You can say other words, the system is a way of working, organization and doing the things which follows the set of rules. That's why the system can be defined mathematically. It is a unique transformation or operator. By placing the set of rules on a operator, that is known as the system. That's why it is a mathematical model of the physical process. The physical process are nothing but is a combination of the combination and interconnection of the components, subsystems, or devices. These are integrated together to accomplish the task or goal. Let us see what is the relationship between the input and output by a missile system. The input and output relationship is given by the system. We are mentioning by the operator. The operator we can define as T is operator or unique operator. That means the system can be transformed or mapped input signal X of T into the output signal Y. That's why it is represented by the Y equal to transformation of X of X. These are like this we are defining for the operator. Okay, this is P is a transformation operator. So then system represented by the like this. Y of T equal to transformation of X of T. The systems can be generally, this type of systems are called as single input, single output, because it has a one input, one output. So the systems are called as SI, SO systems, single input, single output systems. Next, it is one more is called multi-input, multi-output systems. It has number of inputs. Let us say X1, X2, X3, X3, Xn is input signals. The corresponding outputs are Y1, Y2, Yn signals. Okay, these systems are called as multi-input, multi-output systems. Multi-input, multi-output systems. Let's take some examples. Example system. High fidelity system. In high fidelity system, input can be a recorded audio signals. Recorded audio signal. Whereas the output is generated, reproduced, recorded audio signals for this high fidelity system. In case of the Hi-Fi system, the Hi-Fi system has a number of tone controls. The input is a recorded audio signals, where output is a controlled version of the reproduced audio signals. That means the tonal quality can be improved. Tonal quality improved at the output of the output side. The input is nothing but a recorded audio signal is applied. The output of Hi-Fi system is nothing but it can controls the tonal quality of the recorded audio signals. Next one, image enhancement. In image enhancement case, the input is a image with low contrast, where output of the image enhancement system is a image with high contrast, improved version of the contrast. Similarly, signal processing, communication systems. These are some of the examples are the systems. Similarly, one more is like a human digestion system. The organs are work together for a digestion purpose. That's why these are the human biological system. Biological system also one of the examples. Okay, like this system. Yeah, our education system also one of the system. because you see the our system can be producing a award of degrees based on some rules and regulations. That's why I said system which follows some set of the rules. Set of rules. That means our education system awarding of degrees, we are following some guidelines, academic regulations, plus awarding of degrees, first class, second class, ordinary pass, and what is percentage based on percentage based, and number of credits. Like this, this is the system is it is one of the education system. Like this, anything is the form of systems only. Next, let's go for the classification of the systems based on the basic properties. The first one is the deterministic and stochastic systems. Second one is continuous time and discrete time systems. System with memory, without memory. It is also known as static and dynamic systems. And causal, non-causal systems. Time, linear, non-linear systems. Time variant, invariant systems. Invertible, non-invertible systems. Stable and unstable systems. Lumped and distributed parameter systems. Let us discuss about one by one. First one is deterministic signals and stochastic signals. That means the system which is processed only for deterministic signals only. Such type of systems are called as deterministic systems. That means both input and output signals are deterministic signals. Whereas in case other system is a stochastic process system. In this case, system can be processed only for random signals. Both input and outputs are random nature. Okay, random nature. Random nature. Next, continuous time systems. In continuous time systems, the input is continuous time signals that is mapped into the output continuous time signals. The system that maps the input continuous time signal into the output continuous time signals. And also, the input and output relationship of the continuous system is described by linear constant coefficient differential equations. Similarly, the output. Similarly, discrete time systems. In discrete time system, it process the only discrete time signals only. Both input and output are the discrete time signals. This input and output relationship is given by the difference equations. Okay. Let us see the for case of the we see the some L di by di of t by dt plus r I of t that equal to some v of t. Because of the RL circuit. It's a RL circuit. It is a VA is a input, and this is given by the you see di by dt. Okay, this is nothing but first order derivative. That's why this is described by the continuous time system. Similarly, in case of the discrete time systems, it is given by y of n equal to x of n minus x of n minus 1. This is given by the difference equations. Next, system with memory and without memory or static and dynamic system. In case of first you discuss about the static system, the output of the at any time it will depends on the input at that same time. That means let us see. Suppose the system having the static or dynamic system, so x of t is the input, y of t is given by the output. For this case, I am defining y of t at t equal to some t naught. This value will be depend upon the x of t values at t is equal to t naught values. These type of systems are called static. That means the present output will be depends upon the present input only. Present output depend upon the present input only. Such type of systems are called as static, also called memoryless systems, because it does not store the any values. It are memoryless systems. Example is a voltage across the resistor. You see the let us take R is a resistor. The current passing through the current passing through the resistor is the x of t. The voltage drop across the resistor equal to some y of t. Now y of t is given by r times of the x of t. This is only, you see, this is a present input, present output. The present output depending upon the present input values. So this is an example for the memory-less systems. Next we go for the dynamic systems, also called as memory, system with memory. That means the system with the system can store the previous values of the information. That's why the systems are called system with memory, also called as dynamic systems. That means we now can define these systems. System, dynamic system. Dynamic system is output. Let us y of t is output. This is called present output. Present output at t is equal to t naught. This present output value will be depends on present x of t values when t is equal to less than or equal to t naught. That means present output depends on the y of t is equal to t naught is depend upon the x of t at t less than or equal to t naught. That indicating either the present output will be depends on the present and past input values. These type of systems are because the system can be stored the previous values of the input. So what these systems are called as system with memory, also called as dynamic systems. Example is energy stored in a capacitor. Energy is given by 1 half CV of t square, whereas voltage capacity is given by 1 by C integral of minus infinity to t I of tau into d tau. That's why if you calculating this, you substituting this is nothing but a v of t value, substituting this value, because you see the integral changes from minus infinity to t. That this indicating a past and present values. That's why the system, the energy can be stored in capacitor depending upon the past and present values. Next, causal or non-causal systems. The system said to be a causal system is present output at any time depends on present and past input values. The present and past, these are almost all systems are causal systems. In the real world, all systems are causal systems. The present output means we see that the causal system, x of t input, y of t is output. What is y of t? Y of t will depends upon the present and past input values. That means simply y of t, it depends on at t is equal to t naught, depend upon x of t values where t less than or equal to t naught values. So it's the present and past values. That's why this is represented by the, you see the y of t. F of, this is a function of the, that means present output value is a function of the present input, past input values. Similarly, in case of discrete time system, yn is a response of the x of n. Yn is dependent upon the present input value, past input values. And that's why I am representing by the y of n is a function of the present input and past input values. Non-causal systems. In non-causal system, the present output at any time it will depends upon the present and past input values, and also it depends on the future input values. That's why it is represented by the x of t, y of t output. You see this is y of t is a function of the, these are the past input values. This is a present input value. These are the future input values. These are the past input values. This is a present input value. That's why the y of t at any time it depends upon the present, past and future input values. Similarly, y of n also. What is a invariant system? Time invariant systems. The behavior and characteristics of the system does not change with respect to time. And input is shifted by the some amount, output is shifted by the same amount. Let us see. You define some system like this. System y x of t, response y of t. You know that is a transmission operator. Y of t equal to transmission of x of t. Now suppose x is the input signal shifted by the t naught seconds. What is the corresponding output? The corresponding output, let us say y1t, is given by transformation of x of t minus t naught. So t minus t naught. T minus t naught. Suppose you know that y of t equal to transformation of x of t. Transformation of x of t. Now y of t minus t naught. Y of t minus t naught equal to transformation of x of t minus t naught. That means so these both are equal. T of x of t minus y1t equal to, let us say y1t equal to transformation of x of t minus t naught. Both are same. That equal to y of t minus t naught. That's why the system is when this condition is satisfied, the system is said to be a time invariant system. That is the x of t minus t naught input, the corresponding output y of t transformation x of t minus t naught. Then y of t minus t naught equal to transformation of x of t minus t naught. Then so it is a time invariant systems. Let us consider time variant systems. In time variant system, behavior and characteristics of the time change with time. Change with time. Okay, to take some example, the relationship between the xt input and yt output given by the y of t equal to t x of t. This is a system is relationship between the input and output given by t into x of t. Let us I am taking for the, let us take a y of t. Let us take I am giving as input as x of t minus t naught. The corresponding output is y1t. Then y1t is given by the t times of the x of t minus t naught. Is that? Let us say now it is shifted by, suppose I am shifting the input by amount of t minus t naught. The corresponding output is y1t. Then y1t given by the t times of the x of, I am simply wherever the x of t is, I am replaced with the x of t minus t naught. T times of the x of t minus t naught. Similarly, I am shifting the output. Let us say I am shifting the output y of t by amount of t naught. I am shifting same amount t minus t naught. Y of t minus t naught equal to, so wherever t is, I am substituting t minus t naught. T minus t naught x of t minus t naught. So observe that y of t minus t naught not equal to the t into x of t minus t naught. So the system is invariant system. Time invariant systems. The input shifted by amount, output shifted by t naught value, that gives, these are the not equal. So system is invariant systems. So now let us go for the linear and non-linear systems. What is linear? Any system said to be linear system means it must possess the principles of superposition. And its system can obey the two properties. The first property is nothing but a homogeneity property or scaling property. And second property is called as additivity property. Let us see this system, linear system. If a system is said to be a linear system, these two properties must be satisfied. Okay, x of t is input, y of t is output. Let us y of t, relationship between the x of t, y of t given by the y of t is a transformation of the x of t. Let us first I am discussing the scaling property. Suppose the input is scaled by some amount, say a, any arbitrary constant, a times of the x of t. The input is a times of the x of t. What is this output? The corresponding output is given by transformation of the a times of the x of t. That's why the a is a constant or any arbitrary constant. Take outside a times of the transformation of the x of t. You know the transformation of the x of t is nothing but a y of t. That's why a times x. That means we observe that if input is scaled by a value, the output is scaled by the same a value. That means the input is scaled by some amount, output also scaled by the same amount. When this is called as scaling property. Next, additivity property. Let us say x1 is the input of the system and corresponding response is a y1t. That is, y1 is the response of the x1t. Similarly, y2 is the response of the x2t. Then x2t. Suppose I am considering input combination of these two signals. The input is x1t plus x2t. Now input. Now take corresponding output. Transformation of the x1t plus x2t. It is equivalent of transformation of x1t plus transmission x2t. You know that transmission x1t is nothing but a y1t. The transmission x2 is nothing but y2. That means so if we give the input as sum of the input signal, corresponding output is given by the sum of the individual responses. Sum of the individual responses. Now I can generate these properties by combining the additivity property as well as the scaling property. Let us take a x3t. x3 signal, a times of the x1t, b times of the x2t. The response of the x3t given by y3t. y3 is the response of the x3t. y3t is given by transformation of the x3t. The transformation of the a times of x1t plus b times of x2t. Now splitting these two, a times of transformation of x1t and b times of transformation of x2t. Now it is written as a times a1t and b times of y2t. That means so. That means sum of the input signals, that is weighted sum of the input signals is equal to the weighted sum of the corresponding output signals. Now I generate the expressions. Let us say in general k, ykt is the response of the skt. X of t can be defined as a weighted sum of the input signals. Let us say ak is a weighting factor. Ak is a weighting factor. That's why ak times of the xkt, where sigma varies from the 0 to n. That means so n plus 1 number of signals can be addition of the n plus 1 number. That means so weighted sum of the n plus 1 number of signals. And the corresponding weighting factor is ak, the kth weighting factor, kth signal weighting factor. That's why similarly the corresponding output is given by the, you know that this property. Suppose I am taking the this is a system, the linear system. I am giving the that is the x of t signal here. Y of t is a signal here. You know that y of t equal to transformation of the x of t. Now what is x of t? It is the weighted sum of the input signals. That means the ak indicating as a kth weighting factor of the kth signal. Like this. Kth signal. That's why now y of t given by transformation of the sigma k 0 to n ak and sk of t. That means so this is written as transformation of the this is written as sigma k 0 to n. These are the transformation summation are interchangeable. Now ak times of transformation of the xk of t. You know the transformation xk of t is nothing but a sigma k 0 to n ak times of transformation of xk of t is nothing but a yk of t. That's why we defining as y of t is a responsive system. It is given by the that means the response of the system with the weighted sum of the input signals. Weighted sum of the input signal is equal to the weighted sum of the responses of the individual responses. Weighted sum of the individual responses. That's why input consists of the weighted sum of the several signals, and output also weighted sum of the response of the system for each of those signals. That's why it is a linear system. The input signal consists of a weighted sum of the several signals. Then output is also a weighted sum of the response of the each of those signals. Next, invertible and non-invertible systems. System having an input. They having input and output signals. The input signals can be recovered from the output signals. Then inversion system can be existing. Then by cascading of the original system is cascading with the inverse system, that gives the input is equal to the output. Input equal to output. That's why it is defining as the input output relationship is same as that of the identity systems. That's why the original system is cascaded with the inverse systems. Then we are writing as, let us see, here W of t is given by the transformation of the x of t, transform x of t. Okay, what is the y of t? Y of t is given by t inverse of W of t. Okay, now W of t is replaced with the transformation of x of t. The t inverse will be cancelled. We get the y of t equal to x of t. That means the output. That means we are recovering the input signal from the output signal. Then inverse system can be adjusted. This is equivalent of the identity system. Whatever input is given, we are getting same output. Same input. The output equal to input. These systems are called as identity systems. The non-input systems. It cannot be determined the input signal from the knowledge of the output signal. Such type of systems are called as non-input system. It does not exist in inverse systems. What is stable and unstable systems? For stable system, bounded input produces the bounded output. That means the absolute values of the x of t less than or equal to k1, where k is a finite value, always less than infinity. The t value lies between minus plus infinity. That means this input is bounded. It has finite value. Similarly, output also bounded. Y of t less than or equal to k2 is a finite value. T value varies from the minus plus infinity. Then input is bounded, output is bounded. The system is said to be a stable systems. Both input and output should not diverge. It's not diverge. Suppose let us take here. I am taking the e power a is an input signal. That means when a is equal to greater than 0. When a is greater than 0, what happens? Positive values of a, it is nothing but a exponentially rising curve. This can approach to infinite value. That means this is unbounded. The input is unbounded. Similarly, corresponding output is also unbounded. Then output is also unbounded. Then system should be unstable systems. Okay. We take for example, suppose if a values are lies between the 0 less than a less than 1. Under such condition, it become a exponentially decaying function. That means this input signal is a bounded signals. The corresponding output is also bounded. Okay, this is a bounded input, bounded output systems. So if these conditions are not satisfied, this is called as unstable systems. Lumped and distributed systems. Lumped systems is another way collections of the component. They are connected in particular way. Let us say RC circuit, RNC circuit, or RLC circuit, all circuits. These are the lumped systems. In this case, the components are energy can be stored or dissipated in distinct isolated elements. A disturbance at incident at any point that can propagate it instantaneously at every point of the system. In electrical systems, dimensions of the elements are small when compared to the length of the signal. That means the total length of the system is very small compared to the wavelength of the signals. Because we are using for small circuits only. The combination of the elements, RLC elements. And also it can be used only for differential equations. This system can be described with differential equations only. Let us see the RC circuit. Ra of t plus 1 by c integral of it dt. It gives the only first order derivatives. That's why they only described with the differential equations. And also it obeys only Ohm's law and Kirchhoff laws only. Ohm's laws and Kirchhoff laws. This type of systems are called as lumped systems. Similarly, in distributed systems. In distributed system, the components can be distributed along the line. That means the units of these components are ohms per unit length, and inductance per unit length, and capacitance per unit length. That's why the total length of the system is larger when compared to the wavelength of the signals applied. And also signals are nothing but function of the time, frequency, and space. Whereas in case of the lumped systems, the signals are functions of the only time and frequency only. When disturbance at any point that can propagate it other point, it takes a finite amount of time. And also this can described by the partial derivatives. and it is used for the Maxwell equations only. With this classification systems are over. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.